Hey guys, Tammy here, and in this video, we're going to talk about how narcissists are emotional bullies. You didn't know that, did you? Shock, shock. I'm stating the obvious, right? They are big emotional bullies. And honestly, we've been trying to figure out the whole relationship, how to deal with this emotional bully. Now we're out of the relationship. We still can't figure out how to deal with the emotional bully. Over and over, I have people say to me, how do I get this to stop? This is continuing. The attacking and the insulting and all these things just continue no matter what I do. How do I get this to stop? We're going to talk about that. And before I do, let me just remind you, if you like my content, don't forget to hit like on this video. Also subscribe to the channel so that you get notified as new videos are released. And again, 70% of you are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel. Helps me be able to create more content for you. Please, please, please do that for me now. Just hit subscribe on that little button so that you get notices when I release videos, okay? This has its roots in the narcissist's self-esteem. Okay, this really doesn't have anything to do with you in a certain regard. It more has to do with them, but you're the target, right? You're the person there right now. You're the one that they're getting their jollies from. So what happens is they really need that self-esteem boost. And narcissists don't get their self-esteem boost like a regular person does, okay? Those of us, well, I shouldn't even say regular. I hate the word normal or regular because there really kind of is no such thing, right? We're just all dealing with different things. But let me say that a narcissist doesn't get a self-esteem boost the way we do, right? If you're a codependent, if you're a people pleaser, the way you get a self-esteem boost is from, maybe doing good for other people, doing something kind, doing something empathetic, being validated by other people, being validated by the narcissist. That's what got us into this problem in the first place, right? That external validation, doing good for others, those types of things, which doing good for others is a good thing, but, needing validation from another person is not, right? That's kind of an unhealthy way of getting the self-esteem. But the point is we all have our own way of boosting our self-esteem, right? Whether it's in healthy ways, unhealthy ways, whatever that is. Some of us meditate. Some of us, you can do mirror exercises where you stand and tell yourself how great and how awesome you are. I've talked about things where you can take a Superman or Superwoman pose and you put your hands on your hips and you stand like that for, I don't know what the time frame is now. I don't remember. It's like even just like 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. It boosts the testosterone levels in your body by like incredible percentages, 70, 80%. I don't remember. Like I said, it's been a while since I talked about that. But different techniques sometimes that we'll try to make ourselves feel better or boost us or whatever. I have little things I do before I start recording these because I want to be as engaging, as effective, as informative as I can possibly be for you. And I do that better when I'm coming from a positive place in my own mind, right? So there's a lot of things that we do in those ways to try to improve our self-esteem. And hopefully some of those things are long-term things, accomplishing goals and all that kind of stuff. But for a narcissistic person, they don't come at it from any of the negative ways. They come at it from, they don't come at it from any of the positive ways, excuse me. They only come at it from the negative ways, and their primary one is by tearing down the people around them, okay? So if everybody is here and I'm a narcissist and my self-esteem is here and I feel like that I want to be on an even footing with my target, okay? And my target is up here, you start feeling too good about yourself, right? Have you ever noticed that? You start feeling too good about yourself, the narcissist has this way of like keying into that and making sure that they tear you back down so that you don't get too far beyond them. And so that's what they'll do is they go, oh, I got to pull that person down. And it's not conscious, right? This is all our subconscious programming from the trauma and the different things that we've all been through in life. And so what they will do is they will just automatically tear you down to bring you down below their level so that then their self-esteem feels higher because they brought you down from where you were. Whereas a healthier way to go about it is, if I'm here and my partner's here, will let me do things to try to make me feel better about myself, right? Let me improve my self-care. Let me try to do something kind for another person. Let me try to meet my goals today. Let me try to go to the gym like I plan to. Let me try to eat healthy. Whatever the thing is that you're kind of focused on, working on, whatever, that's what most of us do, to try to boost our own self-esteem. But again, a narcissist is just going to try to pull you down in order to raise themselves up. And that is the root of where this emotional bullying comes from. Over time, a lot of times this will get better. It takes quite a while, and I don't think it ever totally goes away in a certain way. I'm divorced close to about 16 years now, I guess. I just don't have to interact that often, right? It still happens when I have the interaction. I just only have the interaction maybe once a year. So it's very easy to just not care, right? What that person thinks. That one time a year that I have interaction with him, I don't really care what he thinks of me, right? And I'm far enough out, obviously. But in the very beginning, when you're having this very frequent interaction and the breakup is fresh and the emotions are raw, it's very, very difficult because you've been in this pattern. And a lot of times the reason that you're moving out of that relationship is to try to get away from that type of treatment and behavior. And so we're co-parenting and we're being attacked and bullied and all those things. And so it feels like I'm away from this person, but nothing has changed. They still make my life miserable. All these things are still happening. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Their behavior is not going to change in that way. Okay. Again, my ex-husband is still that person. He's not somebody totally different now, 16 years later. I would love to tell you he's grown and healed and figured it out, but no. And most narcissists don't, okay? But what I can tell you is my interaction with him is so low at this point that it doesn't affect me. Now, in the very beginning, that was not true. It did affect me a lot. And that's probably the stage that you're at where it does affect you a lot. And I will tell you that it took me, and I talk about this, it took me about 8 years, honestly, after the divorce to really emotionally break free from that behavior and that bullying from him. And again, it's not that his behavior changed. It's that I changed because I got to the point to where I didn't care. I wasn't afraid of it anymore. It didn't work on me anymore. I just stopped caring. I didn't care anymore. And what happened for me is, I will tell you that I even remarried Thomas. I got remarried to Thomas within about 3 years of my divorce. And then it was another 5 years after that before I really emotionally broke free from my ex-husband. So you think about that, you think, wow, that's crazy. It took me 8 years, and 5 of those years I was already remarried to somebody else, right? But I still fell victim to that emotional bullying, and those attacks would come, and what a horrible mother I was, and all of these things, and this is a person who's not showing up for his kids, has them less than 5% of the time. I'm doing everything. He's not paying his support. So I'm trying to support everybody financially. Plus I'm doing all the day-to-day stuff, all the basketball, all the school, all the everything. And then I sit down and there's this message how I'm this horrible, awful mother that won't let him see the children, which I never refused him seeing the children ever. The children were old enough. Our oldest son was 15. He was old enough to go with his dad if he wanted to. I never restricted them from seeing him, but his narrative was to try to come in and make me feel guilty or feel like I somehow had created this situation that frankly I didn't create, he created, but his self-esteem couldn't handle him having created it, right? So he had to project that onto me and make it like I had created it. And so he would do that through that bullying language. And what I can tell you is you will hit a point where it's almost comical for you. Like when you can open up a message from that person and you're almost like laughing inside and you're like, here we go again. That's when you know you're starting to heal and you're starting to cross over to the other side. When you're opening that message and you're going, oh my gosh, or you're so angry, or you're like, oh no, can this be used against me? Are they going to try to do this thing or the other? Are they going to, and you're asking yourself all those kinds of questions and you're in that fear mode. That's how you know that you've not healed from this, right? And that you're still being manipulated by that bullying. Because again, that bullying is not going to stop. People ask me that, when's this going to stop? It's not. I'm sorry. That's the answer to it. It's not. But what is going to happen is you're going to get stronger. You're going to get more educated. You're going to start to learn more things, and you're going to start to understand that the things they're threatening you with and the things they're saying to you, most of them aren't even true. I have people all the time that'll send me messages where the other person says, we're going to go to court and the judge is going to do this thing. And it's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. That's probably not going to happen. And when you start to educate yourself and understand that, then that person doesn't have as much hold on you. That fear, that anxiety starts to go away because you recognize they're full of crap and all they're doing is bluffing to try to scare you because they know they're in a weak position. That's usually what's happening. But we can't see that at the time because we're in such a state of fear. What you have to do for this to stop having this effect on you is for you to get stronger, for you to educate yourself, for you to learn what's really up in the court system so that you know when they say something, is this really true? Is it a possibility or is it not? Because they are not a reliable resource of that information. But I'm a pretty reliable resource of that information. So if you'd like to learn more about my coaching services, you can go to divorceuniversityonline.com/VIP-coaching. There's a link on that page. You can book a time to speak with a member of my staff, learn more about my services, and how I might be able to support you on this journey. See you guys next time.
Turn us to thousands.